All right, let's jump right the hell into this movie, Margaux. The tagline for this movie should have been Smart House, Dumb Movie.
Yes, that's a great tagline,
That should be, right?
Smart House, Dumb Movie. I like
wow,
that.
Yeah. Guys, this is the dumbest movie I've watched this year. And I know you're thinking, oh, isn't Jeepers Creepers dumber? No, I'm not sure. It's not the worst movie because Jeepers Creepers Reborn still holds that title. And
Yes.
the only reason it holds that title is because this film actually looks great.
Yeah.
Shockingly. Mm-hmm. So that almost hurts the film more because it's like, you guys had a budget?
Totally.
Like a legit budget? And there's actually a couple really cool kills in the very opening, which sets this weird tone because you're like, oh, this is gonna be a really fun film with some really great kills because the opening kills are actually pretty good. And I'm like, all right, we got some good gore. Mm-hmm. You know, this could be a fun time. And so this is about a smart house. Oh my goodness. Okay, we'll get there in a second. But these college kids go to stay in this smart house.
Yep.
And the smart house is a little too smart. So smart, it's evil.
Dun dun dun.
And it wants to kill them, of course. Oh my goodness. I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah, I know.
What did you think?
I hated this movie. I was really turned off, especially by the way that Margaux, the smart house, speaks,
Yeah,
since it's an AI.
It's trying to relate to them.
It's trying to relate to them, and I do think that, like, that's the intention, is to be annoying or, like, obnoxious. But I just found I couldn't even, like, look at it in a meta way. I was just really annoyed by the voice the whole time. And there's just so much in the movie that was really confusing to me. I'm very confused by the ending.
Sure.
I feel like there were elements that they used, like, within the smart home technology that just made no sense and were unnecessary. Like the Dr. Octopus, like the...
We'll get
there, but...
Yeah. Hey, you can get there now.
I mean, well, it's just there's so much, and I really didn't like it at all. I didn't like any of the characters. Whenever it started, I think we both were like, "Oh, Cabin in the Woods,"
Cabin in the Woods is what it's going for.
Yeah, the characters are all very stereotypical, like archetypes.
Yes.
And I'm fine with I like meta stuff. I like when movies take genre films and make the characters to the extreme of what their stereotype is supposed to be, but I don't know, this movie was just super lame to me, and I think it's because it doesn't make sense.
Sure. Okay, so I think one of the biggest issues is the disconnect from reality. Now, you sit down to watch a movie like this, right, and you're ready to disconnect your brain and just accept what the movie's telling you, and the technology is where it's at, and that's what you take. Mm. But I think one of the big issues, and there's so many, is that the technology jump of where we know technology to be. Because these aren't just some random dumb kids, right? These are college kids who, one of them is specifically into coding and computers, and they're the geek... What were they?
The nerd herd.
The nerd herd.
The nerd herd.
So they're known to be nerds that are really into computers and technology, and this is kind of their gimmick. But the one girl is supposed to be some Rembrandt of coding.
Yeah.
So they know where we're at in technology. This house is so far beyond where we are in technology. Like, the walls are made of liquid nanotech technology that Dr. Octopus arms are coming up out of the countertops in the kitchen where there's nothing underneath them, right? So there's not like a box where a door opens up and an arm comes out and creates things. It's like the whole table is like a liquid that can be a solid. And and the house tries to say that it's a 3D printing machine, the entire house, right? And it learns who these characters are through technology, social media, and it tries to relate to them by talking to them in a very Gen Z type of lingo kind of way, which in that part you could see, because I do think the film is trying to be funny, I think.
Yeah.
But it plays it super straight, which maybe's the point, is like to add to the humor of it. I don't know, but it doesn't work for us anyways.
It doesn't, yeah.
But it's just that it's that the technology in the house is so asinine and so ridiculous and used so conveniently, and like 3D printing prints something like to scale, right? So like all it does is it prints it, right, so that you can create a structure of some sort, right? This chick is she's 3D printing plants. She's 3D printing people that are able to move and talk and move. Like, what are we talking about here? She 3D prints marijuana that the guy smokes, and it is actual marijuana.
So wild.
What?
I don't even okay, sci-fi movies, like, I'm fine if it was going for like this super high tech, but as you said, for the time period, like, we know, like, the universe is already set up to be like our time period.
They accept
like,
the technology so
they
easily.
accept it so fast.
They're not like, oh my god, how are you doing this?
Exactly.
No, it's just like, oh yeah.
Yeah, there should have been
houses
more
can do this.
disbelief on their end if this was supposed to be
least.
set in, like, our reality type of, technology-wise. Or if it was supposed to be like, that is what, like, smart homes are like, then we needed to have seen, like,
sure, the
elements of the technology before.
In their dorm rooms and everything, where it's like this is where our technology is in this time period.
Like, minimal versions of that. Like, oh, like, I do have this little 3D printer that can make me meals or something. And then for them to go into a house and it's like, everything in here is like that. Like, that's the next step. That would make total sense.
Because it's set now.
Yes.
And every other bit of technology and everything
totally
else we know is where we're at now. And this house is from 1,000 years in the future.
It's so, like, it made us think that it was like an alien or something. Like, we were like, this is an alien entity that took over the house. And
but even if that's the case, it doesn't
excuse their lack of reaction.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. But it's just like, that's how absurd the technology is, because it is alien feeling. Like, there's no way that you're going to 3D print weed, like, and it's going to work. Like, what?
But as I said, the walls, like, they have a legit holodeck from freaking Star Trek Next Generation in here, like, where they walk into the room and, like, I was remarking throughout the movie, because there's a lot of, like, white paint that looks like milk used, and a lot of people get it on them or are coughing it up or whatever. It felt like one long Got Milk commercial. I couldn't stop laughing about it every time it happened. But the characters are awful. There's this romance that's going on, this unspoken romance, and you think it's gonna, like, play out in some twisty kind of way, because they keep delaying it for no reason.
Yeah.
And you're like, why?
That even gets brought up by Margaux, by the house, and she's like, humans are so illogical, like, why are you guys not together?
Sure.
Even when you're, like, going to die, you still won't admit your feelings, and it's like, yeah, 100%. What's up with that? Is
you thought there was going to be something to her?
Yes.
And there isn't.
There isn't. They just, I don't know.
And then in the end, you're very, very confused of where characters are, how they're there, and what happened to other characters. Yeah. And you're like, wait, weren't they going here? Why is she here now? And where'd that guy go? And then what happened to this person? It makes no sense at all. At all. And, oh my God, there's so many things throughout this film that I was just sitting back being like, they're not seriously doing this.
And then there's this one death that's, like, so stupid, where it's an accident instead of, like, God. And it's, like, the dumbest accident. God. Like, I don't even know how
you couldn't even kill yourself
You
that
could
way.
yeah, I don't know how you could do it.
Yeah. It's I will say, this is a film that I would recommend for a party night.
Yeah.
When you have some drinks. This is so bad. It's good. Which, as I've said, is potentially the objective.
Yeah, it's hard for us to tell if that was the intent with the tone, because there are moments that are really funny, but as you said, they're sort of played in a straight way.
Which is funny.
And that's kind of also why it gave me the Cabin in the Woods feel, because
Sure.
Cabin in the Woods does that, but they do it way better and much more
sure.
effectively than this movie does. But I don't know. Yeah, I think that people will be turned off by this film because of the age of the characters, and that it's kind of, focused around that generation. It sort of reminded me of Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. In terms of poking fun at some of the the morality and the way they talk and everything. So I could see that being irritating to people. So
yeah,
it's a warning, I guess.
I mean, I was gonna bring up specific scenes just to kind of illustrate how ridiculous this film is, but I guess I won't get into spoilers. There was a scene in particular. I remember watching it and being like, I'm going to mention this. I'm going to bring up the logic of this scene. But I'm totally spacing on it now.
Oh, it was when the girl who dies accidentally, is also getting chased through this house by a nanotech person that's been 3D printed, that's being controlled by the AI of the house.
Yeah.
She's running around the house.
She's hiding in a house that can literally see everything. That can control the walls.
Yes.
That can control literally everything in that. This isn't a house. When I heard smart house, I'm thinking the X-Files episode with the ghost in the machine element, where the computer program can take control of electronics in the house. It can control the temperature gauge on the air conditioner. It can control the locking mechanisms on the door. It can control the heat of the pool or the jacuzzi. It can, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
It can control the pool cover, stuff like that, to where someone's swimming, they go under, the pool cover comes across and traps them in there. Oh my God, no. Oh my God, no. No. This is so high tech. But yes, anyways, this house is so sophisticated. It can literally read who you are to the point where it knows exactly the kind of food you want.
Yeah.
It can recreate that food by, I guess, 3D printing food that tastes exactly how you like it, and whatever. I guess that's the technology, and they're totally fine with that. No one ever remarks on how amazing this technology is. Yeah. But yeah, it cannot locate, even though this is a nanotech person that it's creating and controlling, that it can send signals to and tell it exactly where things are. It can't find the girl in the house in the areas which we've already seen. We know there's cameras in, but we already know it can see anywhere in the house, but then conveniently lets it in two people into its core to destroy it. This is the kind of movie you're dealing with, where you're just what?
Yeah.
Why? And what's the point of that holodeck room? That doesn't even do anything in the movie.
It doesn't, and at the end...
You thought it was going to serve a big purpose.
Yeah.
You thought this is how they're going to trick them into believing. Man...
And it didn't. And it's a shame, because I think that the concept, it could have been really cool.
Super fun. Super fun.
You were saying playing with reflections and windows and making people think, when you said making people think stuff was happening in the house, I was oh, what if they took it with a haunting, where it was a smart home, but it's all this demonic shit's happening and people think that the house is haunted, but then it gets revealed that it's just technology. That would have been really cool in my opinion, but it's just, everything is very confusing and convoluted in this movie as it's set up, and it's not good.
God, yeah, the breakdown of logic and for this computer program in this movie to harp on illogic.
Yeah, exactly.
Is ironic.
That's also the thing. It's humans are so illogical, AI is so logical, and it's why is the movie not more logical then. It doesn't...
Dumbest movie. The dumbest movie I've seen in a while. And if nothing else, I mean, if it comes on to like Netflix or something, throw it on for a laugh.
Yeah.
Watch the first 5 minutes or so. Get the opening kill. It's not that amazing or anything, but it sets this tone of like, oh, this is going to be a super fun movie with great kills. No. You think like, oh, this is going to have like naked babes and gore, and it's going to be super like self-aware and funny. And I was like, this could actually be really fun. And it delivers on like none of those things. Oh, yeah, and I'm just like, what is this film?
Yeah.
It's serious, but it's not serious. It's a joke, but it's not. I guess maybe just watch it as humor.
Yeah.
And laugh. That's all. I'm going to stop repeating myself. What a dreadful film. But I was always engaged and always like into it enough to be like, what? We kept looking over you being like, oh my God, they're not actually going to do this, are they?
Yeah, so there's that, I suppose. It's not
more fun
than boring.
Like the boring ass movies we've watched this year.
Totally. Which I appreciate. At least we were kept engaged and like active with each other, and like our experience together was funny.
Yeah.
So that's a plus, because I would much rather watch a movie like this than a really boring, slow, badly made film.
This would have been a fun one to live stream.
Yeah.
First viewing of being like, and everyone in the comments being like, what is happening?
100, yeah.
This would have been fun.
It would have, yeah.
Maybe we'll consider that. That would be a really funny one to do live.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Mystery Science Theater 3000 needs to take this film. Anyway, don't watch it, but maybe watch it. Get drunk with some friends and watch it.
Yeah.
It's insane. All right.
Keep watching us.
Yeah.
If you liked this video, you can subscribe, and you can check out all our links in the description to our TikTok and to our Patreon, and comment and let us know what you think about the movie if you watch this one. Or maybe recommend some other movies, like similar.
No!
But not bad. Like similar good. Like similar, like.
Like Super Hybrid?
Like, yeah. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen that movie. Like Upgrade, which I called godlike earlier.
This is nothing like Upgrade. How dare you?
It just reminded.
How dare you? I'm out of here.
Bye! Bye.